Hey, you guys, it's Yuri Choi, and thank you for joining me. I wanted to actually talk about something that has come up for me in the last couple months, actually. So I battle with this a lot. Last year was phenomenal for me. I got to do some really, really amazing things. I got to meet some really amazing people. One of them being on stage, and I got to experience being on stage with some really incredible people like Brian Tracy, Miss Sharon Lecter, uh, Dan Clark from the Chicken Soup series, like incredible people. Honestly, like I have to pinch myself to remind myself that these are things that happened last year. Now, with that said, I found myself towards the end of the year, which I completely had a breakdown. Towards the end of the year, I found myself getting a little bit confused because my intention of getting on stage was actually to be powerful about my message, to spread my message of love, spread my message of living in flow and happiness, really to eliminate suffering from this world and eliminate, unnecessary diseases like cancer, like mental illnesses that really are caused by this lack of mindfulness and lack of being aware and having clarity and having purpose in life. Now, with that said, I think towards the end of the year, I found myself getting confused because I found myself my ego getting excited before my soul. Like I was excited to be on stage and be significant and be, known rather than really stick to what my freaking purpose is. So what I had to do was actually scale it all back. I had to come back. I contracted. I had some opportunities that I could have, spoken on more stages, and I said no. And it wasn't because I wasn't excited and honored and grateful for the opportunities, but it scared me because I felt my ego trying to take over. Yuri, you get to do this. You get to do this. You get to be known for this. Like, aren't you excited? Let's do more of that. But then I had to quickly scale back because losing that alignment would lose everything I'm teaching and I'm about and that I stand for, that I coach my clients with, that I'm writing about, that I'm publishing. Like, that would just crumble everything that I know about who I am. So what I had to do was I scaled back and I really did a lot of deep dive into my soul and really understanding, what am I about? What am I really about? What can I powerfully align with, that no matter where I am, no matter how much my ego tries to take over, I know my center. So I did a lot of soul searching in the last 2 months of last year. And it was scary. It was confusing, and all of that. So in that process, and mind you, I went through this like leadership training in the last 2 weeks, spent about like 80-90 hours working on myself, literally. In that process, what I recognize is that I don't have to kill my ego. My ego is always going to be there. My ego is always going to want whatever it wants. For example, if any of you guys smoke, if any of you guys drink, what part of your body actually does that with you, for you? It's like your arm, right? When you're quitting drinking, when you're quitting smoking, you're not going to say, well, my arm does this, so I'm going to, cut off my arm. That'll solve all the problems. That's not the issue here, right? So my ego wasn't the issue. My ego was just a vehicle for me to do the things that weren't necessarily aligned. So what I had to do, just like you would have to do if you're quitting drinking or smoking or whatever bad habits that you do with your right hand, you wouldn't cut off your arm, but you would tame your arm. You would talk to your arm. You would re-intentionalize what you do with that arm and enroll your arm into doing things that's actually good for you and that leads you to a better place. So what I'm here to say is that you don't have to kill your ego. And this is what I learned in the last 2 months of last year. I didn't have to kill my ego, the things my ego wanted, which is to be on stage for my own pride, to, make my mom cry. There's a little bit about me, and there's always going to be a little bit about me. Even helping other people is a little bit about me, let's be honest. But what I got to do was actually enroll my ego into my soul's vision. So I don't have to cut off my ego. I don't have to kill my arm for better habits. I get to enroll my arm. I get to enroll my ego knowing that it's a part of me. It's never going to leave me. It's a part of me, just like my limbs, just like all of these things. It's going to be a part of me, or else we wouldn't be fighting it all the time. So enroll your ego into your soul's purpose. You don't have to change everything. You don't have to kill it off, but enroll your ego and say, you know what, ego, I know that you want these things, but let's get clear why we want it. And that's where your soul and your heart comes in. Let's talk about why you want to do this. Why do you want to be on stage? Great. You want to impact people. You want to feel significant. You want to feel like, your mom's going to be proud of you. Great. These are your ego's things, but let's go back to why you really want this. It's because, guess what? The people that you love suffered from lack of ease, lack of flow in their life, lack of fulfillment in their life. And what happened? They ended up, having depression. They ended up having attempted suicides. They ended up having cancer. That's what you're about. So cool, ego. I'm glad that you want these things, but let me tell you, and this is where your soul and your heart gets to step in and say, let me tell you why you want those things. And this is why. Because this is what you're meant to do in the world. Because all the past experiences that have been painful, that's fueled you. That's taught you some things. And guess what, ego? Let's enroll into the same vision. You don't have to die. I'm not going to kill you today. But let's be on the same page about why we want what we want. So that way, even if you want it for these things, for other reasons other than your soul's purpose, we can come back and actually synergize that energy into creating more impact, which is what the soul wants. So I hope that was helpful. I hope that makes sense. And I hope that is going to powerfully shift you guys into thinking how to approach your ego, because we have all these things that come up. I'm not gonna kill it, but I'm gonna enroll it. So I hope that's helpful. My name is Yuri. I hope you guys have a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye, y'all.